was that? What? What's that sound? Where? It's aliens and they're living in your town. Damn. They have arrived. What? They're all around. So many aliens living in your town. Are you scared of aliens?
What up, weirdos in Weirdo Land? We've got the whole gang here. We're very excited. It's a beautiful night here in South Florida. Humans love talking about weather. No, this is not a repeat. I'm just kidding. I know we started off the podcast last week like that. Vicky, how the hell are you?
I'm okay.
What's okay? I sense something with your mood.
Well, I hate people.
Okay.
But other than that, I'm great.
Are you more of an animal person?
I'm more of a be by myself person.
Okay, so you don't love animals, you don't love people. That's why I think you do well with the ghosts.
True. I just think I'm one of those. I see now, like the character of Sophia on Golden Girls. She got old and then she had no filter. I'm not that old, but I don't have a filter anymore, and I don't do stupid.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I guess that does come with age. I noticed that with myself, things that I did not keep to myself back in the day. I don't know. It comes back to the thing I always say. You've been to the puppet show, you've seen the strings, and you start aging out of earth, Vicky.
Yeah.
And I say that, tongue in cheek, trying to be a comedian over here. But do you see what I'm saying, Beckett?
Yeah, of course. I actually think I do the opposite, and it jades me because I'm too much of a people pleaser. So I bend over backwards, and then I'm become more of an animal person because I don't have to deal with any of the drama. Like, I avoid confrontation to my own admittance to a fault. Yeah. I avoid it. And with my pups, it's just always good energy.
Yeah, right at early 30s, I became a huge animal lover. Just fascinated by them. Denny's, thoughts on all of this? I see you working. You're the tech guy.
Oh, yeah.
Making it happen.
So I used to be an animal lover. Not that I, hate animals or I'm cruel to them, but I just always grew up with them. I always had them. I always had responsibility from the age of, as far as I can remember, I've had to take care of animals. So when I moved out, I go, no more animals ever. I wanted the freedoms.
No more animals. No. Vicky, what is it, if you had to sum it up, what is it about people that annoy you to where you go, they annoy the shit out of me?
I think part of it is when people don't pay attention and you have to keep repeating yourself. That really bothers me.
I'm sorry, I did not. I didn't hear you.
I was thinking about doing that too.
You set me up, Vic. I get that. It's very hacky of me to do. It's fun.
Cha-cha-cha.
As you were.
Yeah, and I guess I don't have patience for people who don't have a tolerance for others. So like all the hatred and stuff that's out there, that really bothers me. I know that's I started with I hate people. What I mean is why can't people just leave other people alone? Why can't you just stay in your lane, do your own thing, and don't worry about what somebody else is doing? Just enjoy.
Now, when you say that, are you talking about real life situations? Are you talking about social media? Are you talking about both of them?
All of the above.
Okay.
All of the above.
Beckett, do you see what Vicky's talking about?
Yeah, I do. The infamous golden rule, I think Vicky just kind of wrote down the silver rule in the sense that, do unto others as though they would do unto you, like, the golden rule. But if you're not, at the very, very least, just let people be them. Unless it's negatively affecting society or you or your family, just let them be themselves. Stay in your lane.
Yeah, if people don't throw the first shot, everyone's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Someone's always got to throw that first fucking shot, though.
So true. It's like they say in Batman, some people just want to see the world burn.
They do. Some people love to throw... They like the alternative. They like everyone's having a good time. Let me piss all over the keg.
Yeah.
It only takes a few to fuck up a party.
That's true.
That's always my analogy.
It only takes one person to call the cops.
What's so funny is it takes so many people for the system to work, and it just takes one little thing. One person breaking the rules messes up an entire system that took forever to establish.
One insect can damage so much grain, Denny.
As cliche as that is, it's so funny how true it is.
Yeah. Someone wants to know, what is all of our own personal favorite conspiracy theories out there? And chat room, please feel free. Let us know what yours are too. Conspiracy theories are fun. They're great, especially if there's some merit to it. It's when they get a little too out there for me, I get annoyed with it. Mm-hmm. stuff I do love, alien stuff. To me, you've got the government, you've got the military, you have a lot of meat behind that. Flat Earth stuff, you start to lose me.
Yeah, me too.
Flat Earth people annoy the shit out of me. See, Vicky got me all mad at people right now.
Getting all fired up.
Flat Earth people, do they have any kind of point here?
No.
No, it kind of falls flat for me.
Okay.
So yeah, that's not. I feel like that's such an internet-born conspiracy. I don't know if that's a long-lived, like the JFK assassination is a long-lived conspiracy theory that has many different facets.
Do you have a favorite?
I'm a big fan of Walt Disney froze himself to be reanimated later.
Did that not happen?
I don't think it actually worked.
So, because Ted Williams, the baseball player, he's a Hall of Fame baseball
Did he
player.
cryogenically freeze as well?
Yeah, man. I'm pretty sure that he got his head cut off and then it's frozen somewhere.
That's what they do. How is that? How are you supposed to reanimate from
And
that?
what are you going to attach? So, in 150 years, I'll be attached to a buffalo?
I guess they give you a cyborg body, and all you really need is your brain, your essence, your personality.
I think the thought process is that scientists can see a path, although the technology in medicine isn't there. They can, just like Einstein was never able to prove a lot of his theories, but he was pretty confident. And since he passed, some of those have been proven to be true. And through his mathematical equations, he was able to show why this could be true in quantum physics. So I think what's happening is medicine is saying this is how this could potentially work. We don't have the technology now. So if you cryo freeze and you do that
in the future,
whether it's 100 years or 1,000 years, could be a point where we could reanimate.
But do you come back as Ryan Beckett, the boy that crushed it here on Earth back, 2022, or do you come back as fucked up zombie Beckett in a world you don't get or understand?
it's probably that. You would not. The world would be crazy.
I wouldn't want to be the first person unthawed. I'd put it that way. I'd wait a year or something like that. Just like going to space. I don't want to be the first person to go up. I'm going to wait till all the kinks got worked out, and then I'll go up into space, into orbit.
Vicky, severed heads, robotic bodies, the future, your thoughts?
Cryogenics.
No, I've never had a desire to live forever. That's never been. I'm not even aiming for 100 or 90.
Damn, Vicky hates people, doesn't like life. She wants to go hang out with her ghosts.
Straight hang out with ghosts.
Hey,
So, okay, but if you are able to come back as a Vicky in 150 years, healthy, the Vicky you are now, no, not appealing in the least bit.
nope, hard pass.
So do you think, Vicky, you're more inclined when you become a ghost to be able to communicate backwards?
Right.
I would imagine you
Yeah.
would be able to communicate with almost anyone.
Yeah, I'm excited for the other side. Not that I'm going to hasten my, departure to there, but I'm excited because what I have seen, whether it's right or wrong, it has made me not afraid. As a kid, I was always afraid of death because in my mind, all you did was die, and you woke up at some point, you're in a coffin, and you can't get your way out of it. That was my concept.
Your
God.
your relationship with death freaks you out, scares the hell out of you, or you are legit excited, and it scares the hell out of you.
I wouldn't say excited. I am accepting of the eventual
Time.
situation.
Was that a process for you? Just by maturing as a human, was it tougher for you when you were younger?
Yeah, I was scared because we were religious, so I was scared not only of the dying part, but then I was scared about the whole, what was in Revelations. And if I woke up on a Saturday morning, my parents weren't home, I thought, oh my God, the second coming, I've been left behind. How am I going to fend for myself?
Yeah.
They left me.
Death is always a dicey topic to get into. I'll always get 3 or 4 emails saying, "Bird, man, what the fuck's with the death?" But I don't know. I don't like not talking about it either. It's one of those things where it's one of the few things we all have in common with.
For sure.
We're always talking about division and being all divisive. There's a few things we all can have. We all hate Facebook. For one reason or another, whether it's the same reasons we want it gone, we're canceling that right now.
What's the old saying we all have in common is death and taxes.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah, that is true. And don't get me started on taxes, Beckett, because I'm gonna start turning to Vicky. I'm gonna start really hating people
That's a trigger
on
word.
the air. It's not gonna be pretty. The fucking IRS. But that's I digress.
Well, I don't know how this affects you, Bird, but I heard recently, and I you know how they'll institute something in the government, and you have a 5-year grace period before it takes effect or whatever.
Yeah.
But I heard that they are, if you don't pay your taxes, you are going to start getting, or not claiming your taxes. If you don't claim them, you're going to get penalized.
Well, I've claimed all of them. They've all been claimed. They just haven't given it to me.
But I mean, is that going to hang up somehow that you're going to get penalized for this now?
Nope.
Given we have years.
They actually, I collect interest on it. They owe me money.
So it just continually collects interest until they eventually pay you.
It's all been, everything's been on the up and up. It's so fucked now. They're already sending me shit about this year, how I'm not real. I have to get a meeting with the IRS, but every time I try to, it doesn't. It's fucking
I hear.
It's brutal. They owe me a lot of money. A lot. It's fucking insane.
And they don't think he exists at the IRS.
Well, what will happen is they'll send me they owe me 4 checks right now. They'll send me one, and then they'll put a hold on it, and then what will happen is time will go by, and then the next year will go by, so it continues this 4 check cycle. Yeah,
Slow walking you.
It's crazy, but
When you finally do get the money, can we get some things in the studio, like chairs with backs on them?
absolutely.
yeah.
Are you? Yeah, we can totally get that. I love my chair, but I can get you something real nice. Like, you want fur on the back?
No.
You want
Just a back.
like a massage thingy?
No, just a back.
I'll take the massage thingy.
I bet you would. I bet you would.
I'll be facing backwards every podcast.
So you said you had. What was your favorite conspiracy? You said
Probably, I like that Disney one. I think that's pretty.
That's
everything around Disney
yeah.
is pretty conspiracy ridden.
Beckett.
I'm almost hostile to conspiracy theories. I hate conspiracy theories. If I tried to come up with a good one, I would say JFK is super interesting. I've watched a ton of documentaries and movies on that. And even me having that perspective of being antithetical to conspiracy theories, it kind of gets me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about the Paul McCartney is dead one? That's a pretty big conspiracy for a long time. I don't know
Yeah.
about these days. But
He's not.
I was kind of into the Tupac thing, too, because it kind of had a little JFK elements to it. And then he comes out with a documentary. He's narrating the whole thing.
Yeah.
Suge and Biggie and all that stuff. It got pretty, far-fetched. But, if you really reach for it, you could see how it could potentially work. And Tupac was kind of an interesting, weird dude. I feel like he's one of those people that could pull it off.
Still, I see no changes.
Yeah.
Vicky, what do you got?
Actually, everybody mentioned it. The only one I despise, for the most part, conspiracy theories, but I am fascinated by JFK, although to me it's pretty simple. Already solved it. So
You solved it.
Of course, it was the mob that took him out.
Is he underneath Giant Stadium?
No, he's dead.
Yeah, but I mean, is he buried underneath Giant Stadium?
Oh, I don't know about that.
You guys heard that rumor before, right?
It's Jimmy
I thought that's
Hoffa.
Hoffa.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Hoffa. I
yeah,
apologize.
yeah.
Yeah, the mob took him out.
Well, I
too,
think
but-
the big
JFK definitely got
the
shot.
big thing with JFK is he was cozy with Sinatra.
Oh, jeez, we're talking about. Fuck, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was reading something.
And
I got to.
Sinatra was in with the mob, and supposedly the mob, through Sinatra, helped JFK get the office.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as he got to office, part of it was probably because of his brother, turned his back on the mob.
Right, he didn't fulfill his end of the bargain with the
Yeah.
mob.
Yeah, the footage is fucking crazy with the
Very eerie.
the grassy knoll.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of the highlights. Yeah, I'm kind of burned on that. I'm kind of.
Well, that one's been around forever.
I'm with y'all. I'm kind of burned on the whole conspiracy theories because it just that.
Well, there's
Just
a
the
couple
theory.
big ones for a long time, and then internet kind of made them even larger, and then all these new ones started popping
The
up.
newer one I'm seeing a lot is the fact that there is a space station on the moon. That's the biggest. That's the biggest one right now. One of the biggest one. That and the fucking flat Earth. I'm so.
Or
So-
the center earthers, if you've heard, where they believe people live in the middle of the earth.
I think the kind of the common thread is that I get into conspiracy theories when there's actual an intellectual possibility that it could happen that way. When someone says flat Earth or station on the moon, I'm like, you can just watch the moon with a telescope. that's something to easily figure out. We have pictures of Earth. It's round. There's all kinds of things we can do to prove that that's not the case.
The moon, the space stuff on the moon, I could see that possibly being a thing. I know.
Yeah.
I know. Denny's conspiracy. He don't even think we landed on the moon.
Yeah, I mean, that's another super popular one.
Do you
too.
still stick with that?
I mean, there's just again with the internet, there's so much on both sides of that. I could
fake the
totally
moon?
see us faking that. I really can. I mean, I guess it sounds really bad and it makes people hate you, but I could see that one being faked.
The only thing I like about that to tie in is the whole Stanley Kubrick thing and
Where
The
they shot it on-
Shining and
yeah.
the his sweater and all that kind of stuff.
Again, so then you get stuff like that. It's cool, but I mean, it probably wasn't the case, right? But that's such a great add to that. There's just so many different things on there. I don't know. And then you get people arguing about the radiation.
I can't believe people are arguing.
Yeah.
So I think it's time for another round of not Denny's random facts. Another round of Sask Vicky.
I like it.
Yeah, that's top of the head right there. Okay, Vicky, we're going to ask you some questions the people wanted to know. And first question for our lovely Vicky, are you always against a seance?
No, I'm against people who say take a Ouija board in their closet, in front of their closet in their bathroom, unassisted, year after year in certain apartment buildings and things like that. I'm against
Sure.
people that do that. I
Sure,
don't know anybody personally.
Look,
but
I haven't done the Ouija in a minute, so.
no, I mean, people could argue that a paranormal investigation is a form of a seance. The difference between if the seance is conducted where you're simply asking whoever's there to communicate with you, that's different than sitting there and summoning a specific person. It's the summoning that brings in your lower vibrational spirits or something that might be demonic.
I love it.
So
Great
it's a fine
stuff.
line on how you do it.
Great stuff. Denny, you got your work cut out. I'm grading Vicky's first question. It's an A.
Oh, it's very good. She's a woman of seance.
It's nice, Denny's. Vicky, can a ghost visit you in your dreams? If so, how do you know it's a ghost and not just a dream?
Yes, it's the easiest way for a spirit to visit you because your consciousness, you're not ready to dismiss the fact that they're there. You're not trying to find a logical. What I always tell people, they'll say, well, I dreamed such and such last night. If your gut feeling is telling you that was a visitation, and especially if there's a message, then listen to it.
Yeah, I've talked often. I mean, I've had dreams about loved ones who have passed away, but there was one specific dream where, to your point, it felt as if my mom did visit. It wasn't I've had dreams with her in there, but there was one where I felt she was in the room. Now, whether that's just me wishful thinking, whatever, that's what it felt like. It had a
Right.
different feel to it. Even when I got up, it took me a good minute or two to go, oh, that's fucking weird. What the heck was that kind of a thing?
Yeah, my most defining dream that I had was when my mom died. I know that she stayed here for a while because she was staying around to see what was happening with the sale of the house and to make sure the kids and I found another place to live. So after I'd been in my house a little while, I knew things were settled. I had a dream, and it was like a Sunday, and we were going to church. And we said, well, can you want to come over and have dinner with us too? So she said, okay. So she comes to dinner and she hugs my ex and tells him that she forgives him. And then she looked up and she said, oh, I got to go. My ride's here. And a car pulled up and it was my dad. And she got into the car. And I just knew that was her saying, okay, it's time for me to go ahead and go on the other side and do what I need to do there. You're safe and sound. Everything worked out the way I hoped it did. And now your dad's coming for me.
Well,
Denny's grade that shit.
I give that an A. It's a great story.
It's a great story. I'm loving it. All right, last question for Vicky. I love this segment. We gotta get
A Beckett.
a Beckett thing. Yeah,
I feel like it's going to be dirty.
bitching out with Beckett. What's Beckett's big old rant today? I don't know. Fucking get on Bitcoin. Beckett Bitcoin tips. I don't know, Beckett.
Crying Ryan.
We can crying Ryan.
That's what's on my mic.
Oh yeah, Denny. That
From
was
the old
Denny's getting
studio.
creative over there.
Yeah, it was when we were moving studios. I needed something to identify all the microphones with, so I made up little names for everyone.
Yeah, better than mine.
She's Icky Vicky.
Yeah.
I'm Jerk Off Jay. No, what am I? I'm Jason the Mutation.
Jason the Mutation.
I like
like
that.
it.
I like that kid. And last question for Vicky: when have you gotten something wrong as a psychic?
Well, I'm sure there's lots of times I've gotten it wrong.
So back in the day, I can still think of bad baseball games that I had. Can you think of a bad game, so to speak?
Oh, I've had bad readings. Bad readings where nothing came through. Instead of me making up stuff, though, I said, sorry, I'm not getting anything.
That's good.
And
That's
I'd be
good.
like, you know what? I'm sorry. Either I'm off or something's off. Listen, if you want to, call me again, it's free. Just, we'll set up another time and we'll see if it's better then.
Can spirits, just like they can make themselves known, can they purposely make themselves unknown to you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've had, especially during readings, I've had some very, very disgruntled people who I could see them. They were standing in my room, but they, arms crossed and lips tight, and they wouldn't tell me anything. And then a lot of them, it was just a matter for them to see whether they could trust me. And when they could see that I didn't have an ulterior motive, then they would start to come out of their shell a little bit.
Speaking on the old ghost vein, let's kind of keep on that train and talk about what's going on in here. Last night, I'm sleeping back in, and I wake up, and it sounds crazy, but it sounded like a weeping man in my closet. So I'm laying on my couch. And so I get up. And my dad's not here. No one's here. I lay back down. A couple minutes go by. So I get up and walk to the closet, which Vicky, you saw where the closet is. It's my kitchen. No, nothing. For about the next hour, I would hear it throughout. For about, I would say, 2 to 4 seconds, and then it would stop. Sometimes it was louder than others. Sometimes it wasn't. And my question, Vicky, is this. I played you a taste of it when you got here. I have been obsessed with this YouTube channel. I showed you, Beckett. I played some on the air. It's this Dreamscape.
It's good.
It's really good. They put rain behind it, and they play these old-timey songs. This one song, Vicky, when I play it, I don't know. It wakes me up at night. Now, keep in mind, on this time, there was nothing playing. Everything was silent when I went to bed. But typically, I go to bed, and this song keeps on calling to me. It's been playing a lot in the house. In fact, Denny's knows it well.
Yes.
Can you summons a spirit with music?
Well, there could be something in that particular song because when I came in, you turned it on for me, and in my
We danced. We had a good time. No.
When I did my initial walkthrough, I got a sense that somewhere at some point in time there was some domestic violence in this house. And
Previous before me.
Previous before you.
Yeah,
and
let's get that.
Exclusive to when Bird got here.
Let's get that out there on the record, please.
So Denny's going to play the clip, right?
Yeah, this is the song. I'm obsessed with this song, Beckett, but it's creepy as fuck.
So I want people to keep in mind that I think there might have been, which I said when I did my initial walkthrough, there might have been some domestic violence here. So listen to the lyrics of the song.
It does not seem to be playing.
Oh, maybe someone doesn't want us to play it. That's a tricky ghost. Are we fucked with the?
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, you played it before the show.
Oh, I got
today.
you.
Oh, here we go. Here it is, Beckett.
A man doesn't know what he has until he loses it. When a man doesn't know what he has, he abuses it. I didn't know what I had when I had my own love.
All right, I think they get the point, Denny's.
That song walks the line for me of gorgeous and very murdery.
It's murder.
I
it's
made
murder
that
beautiful.
same-
It's 110% murder beautiful. It's haunting, but
Yep.
you hear the pain.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's got he's almost weeping when he's singing. He's got a. So is that possibly connected?
There could be a connection because this, particularly the line he said, "When a man doesn't know what he has, he abuses it."
So
and that's what stood out when you were playing it. I'm like, wait a second, what did he just say?
Is the spirit now? Would the spirit like that back in the day? That's why that it would be connected to that song, or
It might be the lyrics.
or just the fact that I'm jamming out to it and there was already a spirit here. And he's like, huh,
Yeah.
I like that. Great. Me and the ghost abuser likes the same music. Sweet.
Yeah.
We don't. So someone's already asking. Do you know that for a fact, or that's just your guess?
That's just my guess based on. Well, I was listening to the lyrics. I wasn't even connecting the abuse energy that I picked out with this song. And then when that particular line came up, I'm like, wait a second. It is connected to the abuse that I pick up on in the house, and he's actually remorseful.
I love that kind of music.
Yeah. I think it's time for some record play with you. I think you need a record player.
I'm not against that.
I think
Becky.
you'd really be into the record thing. And I used to make fun of my hipster friends that had record players, and I got one. And then it was explained to me how Denny's probably knows this better than anyone. But with these MP3s, they compress the files so much. So if you have a good audio system and you have the kind of ear that you guys have, that you can really hear the full sound as it was recorded on a record player.
Sure.
And a song like that, if you're in that kind of music, we need to get them a record player. Rust Market.
I love it.
Yeah, if you want, the new record players are pretty amazing.
If anyone wants that hot track, you can let me know, and I'll send you an MP3.
Do you think spirits can, this would be interesting with the radio guys, spirits can kind of, or the universe or whatever, can control music that plays on the radio? Because you guys ever have that moment where you're in a bad breakup and sure, maybe you're more aware of things, but you think of something or you think of a song, and in all different kinds of contexts, it's like, oh my gosh, how is that song playing? I'm not talking about a top 40 song that has been playing the last week, every other song. I'm talking about a song where you're like, I haven't heard the song in 5 years. And do you think like the universe or spirit sometimes can bring that in?
I personally do. I've had moments like that. I've told the story many a times where my laptop died. I was playing. It was right after my mom passed away, and I was playing her favorite song from my buddy. It was like 11:45 at night, and my laptop died because the battery was dead. I remember it died because it was 1%. So I put it on the side of the bed. And at 1:30 in the morning, my laptop went off, and the song "How Much I Feel" by Ambrosia came on, which is my mom's all-time favorite song. I was like, "What the hell is that going on?" So I put my laptop, put it down, and didn't really think anything of it. Woke up, did my thing, and I get in the car. The very first song it's on the radio is "How Much I Feel" by Ambrosia. It's not that popular of a song to play.
Right.
So to your point, yeah, it could have been a coincidence. But it's all really kind of how you look at things.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's what I say, me being the resident skeptic. As I get older, I'm sure I've said this before on the podcast, I have these experiences that are way too coincidental to be coincidental.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I wonder, too, if it's nothing majorly significant in your life, maybe it's just at the minimum saying, hey, life has some magic to it. Even though you don't understand it. So be open and don't be such a, I don't know. I think it's easy to get cynical in life, and I think it's easy to let that magic dry up. For some people, it's work to get up, be happy, really focus, and try to look for magic. It's easy to go on autopilot, and I think a lot of people can go on autopilot. I'm guilty of it too. There is awesome stuff around.
Right.
And I also think sometimes we miss signs that are in front of us.
I 100% agree, and I won't go too much down a rabbit hole, but that's what I was explaining with my ayahuasca, and the reason why I think medicine is doing a resurgence in therapy for people that are depressed. The reason why Steve Jobs supposedly had his vision for Apple when he was tripping, because I think what it does is it makes you a little bit more like you're a kid. And it opens up your neuro pathways to think differently and be open-minded to those kind of things. And I've only had the ayahuasca experience, but based on that experience and what I hear about psychedelics, I think it gives you that kind of like mental elasticity that we lose as we get old and jaded, if that makes sense.
It comes down to this, Denny. Is you got to ask yourself this question: are you a person that believes in signs, or is it all coincidence?
Yeah, I hear you. I still think back to that one KVJ game we played, and I was guessing your favorite movie, and I said Signs because you quote it nonstop, and you said Karate Kid.
I love the movie Signs.
That's what I
great.
thought it was your favorite movie. You constantly quote it.
I think cornfields are so eerie. I would love to shoot some kind of movie a video out in a cornfield. I just think it's so creepy and eerie. I like creepy, eerie shit. I don't know what to fucking tell you.
Signs for me was one of those movies like that movie What Lies Beneath, in that overall it was like a somewhat scary movie, but not over the top scary, but it had those moments in the movie where you jump out of your seat.
Yeah, but
Signs did that, right? Lies, the alien standing on the roof, spoiler alert.
Bitch boy Beckett's back, everybody. I kid. Vicky, Signs, you believe in this?
I believe in signs, but I like the song coming on the radio and that. I think that something like that happening is bigger than a spirit. To me, I would blame or put the credit to the universe. So who's ever in charge, the big person in charge, I think because radio programming, you have a set, you have to play this, and this.
Yes.
Okay. So to me, it's more like the universe, the person in charge, made sure that was going to happen at that time. So I think it's bigger than a spirit.
But do you think too, because the cynic out there is going to go, yeah, big fucking deal. The guy heard a song that his mom liked. What does that have to do with anything in the grand scheme of bullshit?
How did it make you feel?
It felt cool. So that's my other point would be those kind of moments when maybe it's insignificant to somebody else. It shows you. It kind of reaffirms one's faith, possibly, or it gives you hope. And without hope, that's when it's lights out, baby.
Yeah.
If you ain't got hope, that's when the human spirit goes to the. It's rough, Denny. It's rough.
I would add as a response to that kind of person that it's not just that you heard a song driving one day in the middle of the week. It's the fact that you had that experience on your laptop. The battery was dead. You heard it at 1:30 in the morning, and then when you first started your car, and the context of the song. So it's never just one thing. It's the context of all those things that blows people's minds.
Who wants to watch Signs tonight? Well, I'll hit play right at 9p. And I'll just watch
It's not that long of a movie.
I'm into it.
Yeah, I just it's good stuff. Yeah, I think with all that jibber jabber, I think it might be time for some
Denny's Random Facts.
Whoa, sweet Denny's. He's on fire. He's having a great week. Joke jury
yeah.
today was 5 out of 5 kid, home run. Vicky, she is our educator. She's going to grade our sweet Denny's. Does he bring the heat? If he does, he gets an A. If he doesn't, he's dead meat and he gets an F. Denny's, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. Going from signs to this. Let's see. So I thought this was kind of cool, and maybe this will help people out. There was a study done at the University of Chicago that writing down your worries before taking an exam will actually combat your test anxiety. It'll improve your performance and actually boost your test score. They did it on a whole different scale of people, and they found that people who actually struggled with the most anxiety benefited the best from using this practice. It allowed students to unload their anxieties before taking the test, accordingly freeing up their brain power, stuff that they were focused on before, now written out, helped them focus more on their test than their anxieties.
I think they were writing cheat sheets. That's
Yeah,
what
they're cheating. But yeah,
Just kidding.
they said 10 minutes before an exam, just write out all of your anxieties and then crumble it up and then begin your exam. And they say that will increase and boost your test scores.
I mean, we're talking education, Vicky. We're talking your fields. He's really zoning in on you.
I like that. I believe it. Just like they have the thing where you put down all your negative stuff and you have a fire and you throw
Like
it in the
a
fire
effigy.
and get rid of it. So I'm not going A, but I'm going to go strong B.
Damn.
That's good.
Strong. Yeah, strong B.
Nice job, sandbagger.
Oh, get out of here. Let's see. Maybe some of you seafaring folk knew this, and I learned this at a young age, but I looked into it, and I never knew the reason why, but it takes longer to drown in salt water than it does in fresh water. And because of this, 90% of the drownings are actually in fresh water You would think it would be in the ocean, but it's a lot more. And well, so they break it down. I found this stat actually on kidsworlddrowningprevention.com. But when you breathe in fresh water, it takes 5 to 20 minutes. It fills your lungs, enters your bloodstream quicker, causing your blood cells to swell and burst. Then the fluid fills your lungs, and you go into cardiac arrest. Whereas in salt water, it takes 5 to 30 minutes to drown. The salt water, actually, you die of asphyxiation. It just causes the air sacs in your lungs to not accept oxygen.
Damn, Denny's got dark, y'all.
But crazy, right? That you drowned much faster in fresh water, and 90% of the drownings are
Interesting.
from fresh water.
And salt water is more buoyant.
That's the other one. It's more buoyant, and fresh water also includes lakes, streams, and pools. A lot of people die in pools.
Yep, and don't forget, too, bass.
I didn't see that one on there, but I bet you there's at least a good portion.
Don't you dare forget about that brim.
Yeah, I hear you.
Vicky,
I like that one. I'm gonna another strong B.
oh,
Nice.
damn.
You were really close.
You're
but-
flirting with it.
I like to
flirting,
dance
man.
around that A.
You're flirting.
I don't want it to go to my head. So
Yeah, I get it.
I hear you.
See, live in that B lane.
That's why I just try to coast right there.
Don't ever be A's too much, C's too much. You're constantly looking over your back with the C. Stay in that B lane.
That's
B's perfectly above average.
Yeah. Well,
C's average, right?
Oh yes.
So what do you guys think about doing this? Maybe this is something we could do in the future. William Shakespeare had a curse engraved on his tombstone to prevent anyone from removing his bones. The curse was taken so seriously that in 2008, construction workers were very careful when removing to not disturb the bones. Unfortunately, they broke something and looked, and somebody actually had broken in and stolen his skull years earlier.
Wow.
Curse
didn't work.
clearly didn't work.
No.
But yeah, what
Interesting.
do you think about cursing your own tombstone? So if anyone messes with it,
I get why people would do it.
it's awesome.
Vicky. Oh shit.
Oh, you don't like this
she gave you a emoji eye roll.
A D for drama, drama class.
I'm gonna go for C. He should have been cremated.
Oh.
Ooh. All right. Well, speaking of C's, what do you guys think of this? We had a
Good night.
on the KVJ show. We were talking about different group names for animals. You know, you have a troop of monkeys, you have a school of fish, stuff like that. And they actually did a test with you on the After the Show podcast. Well, I came across, I never had seen it, but have you ever heard what the collective group of rhinoceros is called?
Mm-mm.
It's called a crash of rhinoceros. In fact, I thought that one was so cool. I pulled a couple other ones that I thought were cool as well here.
Dog, get it. Free form.
So a group of cobras is called a quiver.
Oh, Denny's. I didn't know you were going to be talking so sexy.
Quiver.
There's no way Beckett's not at least a quarter hard.
A group of hyenas is called a cackle.
Hashtag Beckett Boner.
There you go. That could be a segment.
Oh, Beckett, that's your segment, Beckett Boner. I love it.
Yeah, hyenas is called a cackle.
That's good. That's apropos.
Yeah.
I thought so as well. A group of jaguars is called a shadow. A group of jellyfish is called a smack of jellyfish.
Smack you right in your ass.
A group of leopards is called a leap of leopards.
Oh, is that in the song? 5 leap of leopards. 10 golden
Is it
eyes.
leaping lords?
I don't fucking know.
I think it's 10 leaping lords.
Isn't there?
It's been a long time since.
Isn't there a leaping? Is that leaping lizards? Is that fucking Annie I'm talking about now? Am I mixing Christmas songs and Annie?
That's
Damn.
hilarious.
Fuck Denny's as you were.
And the final one I thought was pretty cool. A group of sharks is called a shiver of sharks.
Oh. Shiver and quiver, baby.
Shiver and quiver. That was my name in high school.
Sound like a fucking poet over here.
Thanks.
Vicky, if that doesn't rousel
Well,
down.
yeah, he had me at quiver and shadow. So, but it's still not an A. I gotta go another,
A strong B.
yeah, strong B.
None of us leave until he gives us an A. The podcast doesn't end.
There will be blood.
All right, give us one more, Denny's. Try to end on a low note.
Well, so this one I just thought was kind of cool. This is a quickie one for you. When you see a double rainbow in the sky, look at the colors because the color of the second rainbow is going to be reversed the opposite of the rainbow next to it.
I feel like ever since that dude on mushrooms that saw that double rainbow in the sky, I see double rainbows all the time now. It's almost he made them.
He made them cool.
He made them cool. He made you notice. When's the last time you seen a double rainbow, Beckett?
It's been a while.
Fuck, but Denny's.
Dude, I saw one. I'm not trying to upstage anyone, but I just saw one like probably like a week and a half ago.
I saw one a week ago.
Whatever. Where did you see it?
I'm just being a
I saw it
rainbow
on that one misty day we had. I'll show you guys here, but I put it up on KVJ TV so people can see. But if you look, it's the rainbow colors are opposite on the second one. And it's because you're seeing the reflection of the rainbow, the light
Nice.
refracting off of the rainbow.
It's very cool.
in
Very
the
cool.
mist.
Very cool, Denny's.
I've always wondered why rainbows are curved, because I can understand the light refracting off the raindrops and making multiple colors, but I never understood why it's always an arch. I never
because
understood.
the Earth is not flat.
Oh, I see. So that proves that it's not a flat Earth. The rainbows.
Well, there you go.
I think
Call it in.
I think we had a moment.
Call it in.
I saw a rainbow on an airplane once, and it was a full circle. I had never seen that before.
Huh.
It made a complete ring. It was weird. Not to, as you were.
I saw a rainbow once. Once. All right, Denny's. Thank you. It's a great job.
That was awesome.
What was
Thank
his
you.
grade on that last one?
I'll give him an A. He can finish with an A.
Damn, that's such a
I can handle a
A.
strong B.
Damn, she gave you a
He
whack
used the word
ass-
refraction, so
There you go.
that bumped him up.
Man, that's fucked up, Denny's. I had an idea on the show today that went over like a lead balloon. I would like to do a time capsule. I don't think anyone was feeling it on the air, but I think you guys might want to do that with me.
Totally into it.
Beckett, that's why I love Beckett. I love people who are up for shit.
Yeah.
I grew up with a kid named Damien, and you could say anything. Hey, Damien, we're gonna, I don't know, throw rocks off our knees and then go put eggs in our eyes. You're down? Fuck yeah, I'm into it. All right, cool. Beckett's a Damien.
I'm a yes man.
So what would you bury?
I just want to throw that out to see if you guys would be into that. But I thought it'd be kind of a fun little thing. And I also want to do that. Is it Rando Nautica? That Rando
Yeah.
Nautica I'd love to do with you guys. It's that app where you plug in some kind of a random.
I think you plug something in and it takes you on a random adventure, and then you can kind of document your adventure.
Yeah, and you can do all kind of levels where you put. If our goal is to see something with death or ghost or
It'll
whatever,
try to find.
it's supposed to lead us to some kind of destination like that.
So
Interesting.
adult Dora the Explorer, is that what we're going to do?
Kind of, yeah. And if we do it the right way and get someone to drive us, we can
Yeah.
drink and get get crunk.
Oh, I would totally do that.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
That would be an awesome adventure.
Definitely.
You had me at somebody else driving.
Well, what would be cool too that we can invite other weirdos to meet out. We all could do it together. That would be. I think it'd just be such a fun thing and post it on social media.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
I love it. But we got to figure out how we're gonna do the time capsule, what we're gonna put in there. I want to make it weird, make it random.
We could ask the audience for advice, but I'm thinking like a USB drive, newspaper, a KVJ episode.
I love it. All that. Yeah, make
Yeah.
it unique.
Yeah.
That are, the weirdos in KVJ Nation, if someone does find it and whatever, they go, what the KVJ Nation?
I'd put
Beckett's boners.
Blue Diesel. They took my two favorite weed strains and combined them to a super sativa. I'm so hyped.
And you would put that in the time capsule, but then when you're driving home, you're like, oh man, I kind of wish
Picking it
that.
up.
No, in the future, they get to smoke some bomb.
You just put some seeds.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, how long do seeds last? They last like 9 years.
Probably longer than the plant.
But how
Yeah, good call.
how cool of a stoner is Denny's? He wants to leave the future weed. Most people don't do that, Denny's. They smoke it. They don't leave it.
Yeah, I want to share that. I was so hyped when I read they crossbred those two.
You are the chosen one when it comes to weed. Beckett, you should see it. When we did have events before Corona, it got to a point where the event would end and people go to him like he's the weed Jesus.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh, there'd be some events I'd smoke 3 blunts back to back because
That's
everybody would
amazing.
want to smoke a blunt. I'd be like, all right, let's do it.
And this cat, he's got the legs for it.
That's great.
He's got the legs for it. We got some emails here. Here's one, Vicky. This would be good. I want to hear Vicky and Beckett because it's a relationship about a girlfriend, but it's also about a psychic, and it kind of goes back in the theme of just people not getting it right, getting it wrong. Dear Weird, whatever. My girlfriend thinks she's a psychic. If she is, then she's the shittiest psychic on the planet. She gets everything wrong. She never gets the reading right. People get pissed off at her. She even recently started charging our friends for her services. Now, some people don't realize that she's shitty, so they're giving her the money. A couple of them have quietly told me she's giving them horrible advice. I'm from New York. Now my mom wants to do a reading with her. Should I tell my mom that she's a shitty psychic? She wants to charge my mom $50 for an hour, need advice. And what's the going rate for psychic?
Oh, I mean, certain people charge way more than that.
50
Damn,
so 50
really?
$50 for $50 for an hour. That's about
That's a cheap psychic.
That's a cheap
That's
psychic.
a cheap psychic, yeah. But it sounds like you get what you pay for.
Damn, shots
damn.
fired. Fuck, that's psychic shit talking right
Yeah.
there.
I don't even know what you call it.
The other
Beckett,
girl knew it was coming.
Do you roll over on your girlfriend?
Do what?
Do you roll over on your girlfriend and tell your mom that she's
Every night.
I set you up.
Is she actually going to take money from his mom?
See, that's what I thought was weird.
I mean, I do paid readings, but I also do a lot of free stuff because I like to balance out everything. And if there's we have someone who watches KVJ every day and she watches The Weird and whatever, and she called me around Christmas time or New Year's Eve or whatever, of course I picked up the phone and talked to her. I would never in a million years think about charging her for that conversation, and she asked for my insight. The fact that they would charge their potential mother-in-law?
Yeah, it's not a good move. And yeah, I would tell my mom, yeah, she's a shitty psychic.
Yeah, if you want to waste your money, go ahead.
I would try to not encourage her to be a psychic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think playing an instrument, I'm all about encouraging people to work on their muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for free.
but
She
for
needs
free.
to work on it for free.
Yeah, and be open to constructive criticism and stuff like that. But yeah, to start charging family out of the gate when you're extremely inaccurate.
Well, you don't have a good track record. The
Yeah.
numbers aren't backing up
Right.
what you're.
I worked for an entire year for free. I had Bobby Joe get people from out of state that I didn't even know the person's name. I didn't know their name who was calling. And I worked for a solid year for free to make sure, that's how long it took me, just because I'm so conscientious, to make sure it wasn't a fluke or I wasn't just smart in figuring things out, that it was really messages that I was getting. So I'd like to know how long, it took her before she started charging.
So we're not. We hate your girlfriend, dude. No, I'm just totally.
I just think some things require experience, you know.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, you can't charge if you're a shitty psychic. It's just the way it is.
Or you can't charge when you're green and you're just starting out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't charge when you're shitty at anything.
Yeah,
You
really.
shouldn't.
That's the moral there.
Dear Weird Whatever. Did we do my daughters in a cult?
no.
We did not. Dear Weird and Whatever, I lost my daughter to a cult and I don't know what to do. It's on a farm out in Jupiter West. This guy has my daughter and about 13 other people under some type of spell. We have tried to get the police involved, but they said they can't do anything about it. Some of the rituals they do are seances where they try to communicate with serial killers, the devil, and they have vampire sex prayers, whatever the fuck that is. That's my own commentary. They suck each other's blood during the ceremony. She's 23. She won't leave. How do I help her? Tina. Man, I mean, what sucks is she's an adult.
Yeah.
But just because she's an adult doesn't mean she's not your daughter, and doesn't mean you don't love. You never try to.
Yeah, but
You never try to help your your loved ones.
It gets tough. Jen and I watch a lot of those cult documentaries. Those are probably my favorite ones.
Yeah, the cult's an interesting kind of a.
Some of them, it seems to be the trend, and who knows, but a lot of them, they start off at least admirable, and then I think the perversion sets in. They realize the power that they get, and then I think then it turns into a lot of, sex act stuff. A lot of the cults always turn very...
It always ends with a little bit of this, Beckett, if you know what I mean. Always. Yeah,
Girl on girl?
I think it's everything on everything, dog. I think with the Manson cult, there's rumors where they think, who knows what the shit is.
For real.
But he wouldn't take the drugs and everyone else would take the drugs. So everyone's they're all fucked up, and then he can do
He's
what
manipulating.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're on that 60s acid.
Right.
Yeah.
My advice would be to find out as much as she can about their activities, because I guarantee there has to be something that they're doing that is actually illegal. And so the more you know about them and what they're doing, the more likely you are to find that one. I mean, just look at Bundy. I mean, he was a bad driver and he got caught because of bad driving. So you might be able to catch them on some little tiny technicality of something they're doing that's illegal.
Not only was he a bad driver, he was an extremely shitty driver. He was not. He could not get it together, man. It was his downfall on many occasions.
Yeah.
And don't a lot of people forget about it, I think, and it's just in the movies or TV shows. But I've had 2 situations where I had to hire a private investigator.
Why's that?
Well, I'll tell you one story. So I was getting off a plane in Vegas, and I realized once I got through security and I couldn't go back in, I left my laptop there. It's an Apple MacBook. So I had to go on to the event because it was a birthday party, the reason I was in Vegas. And I was like, you know what? American Airlines probably hasn't lost and found or whatever, because I was in the back of the plane. So I was one of the last people off. And I was like, what a dumb move. So I got back to Florida and I did my find your iPhone thing, whatever. And I'm like, it's not going to work unless someone turns it on. Well, it pings me in the middle of the night, the next night, at some random house, like 3 miles from the airport. And I put a thing like reward, because you can put a message on your MacBook. Reward if found. Here's my phone number. I had my school dissertation. I had so much stuff on it, some of which was backed up, some of it was not. So I couldn't find out any information. I tried to find out who owned the house. So I called up a private investigator in Vegas. He went to the house, knocked on the door, told me the whole story, gave me advice. Long story short, I got it back.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think a lot of times people were like, oh, well, if the cops don't do anything, that's a dead end. And I was like, well, depending on what the situation is, whether it's lost property, someone missing, concern for a loved one, an occult, that you want, like to Vicky's point, more information that you might be able to actually turn over to the cops that they action on. I have some good ones. So if anyone wants to write in, I have a good one too. The other one I did is I had my Jeep Wrangler from 16 years old that we sold when I went off to college. Well, you can find Carfax and find out like when its last oil change and accident record, but I still had the VIN number. So I called up a local private investigator, and he got me the name of the owners in Alabama, and recently I wrote them a letter to see if they would ever want to sell it, and I would buy it back.
Oh, very
That's
good.
fun.
Yeah.
But if I didn't have, it cost me $50.
Yeah, that's an adventure in itself.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, it's a good resource, to Vicky's point, if they're looking for like some information that might be able to be actionable by the police. That has been, at least in my experience, like a good option.
All right.
Yeah, it was weird. We were on the other end, and I'll tell it quick because I've told it a few times. But we were being investigated by a private investigator as a kid, and we didn't know it because I had a family member get kidnapped. And we didn't know where she was. And my mom and Ann was at a restaurant called Wags. If you grew up, do you remember Wags, Vicky?
My brother used to work there.
No
as a cook.
shit.
Every time you bring it up, it's
Well,
always-
it's so funny because my mom would always make me say, "You tell them you're 10 years old, you eat for free." Mom, I'm 14.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, they were talking, and somebody heard my mom and Ann. Imagine that they were loud at a restaurant. And they were talking about, where's blah blah blah. She's kidnapped. They were, freaking out. Still found a way to go to a restaurant though.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Get their eat on. But yeah, so someone heard that and reported it, and we were under investigation for 48 hours. Supposedly it was going to be a 48-hour investigation, and the guy noticed that there was a lot of kids there and it was a big family. He didn't want to wait. He just knocked on the door and said, "What the fuck's going on here?"
Right.
And we told him what was going on.
Interesting.
But someone thought my mom and Ann was involved in the kidnapping.
Gotcha.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. And that was just at a restaurant, someone overhearing it.
Wow.
Got a private investigator involved.
My buddy was in a long-term relationship, and he felt like something was amiss between the two of them.
Yeah.
And he hired a private investigator and took pictures of her walking to the car from a hotel with another guy. And that's the reason he broke up with her after 2 years. He would have never known if he didn't hire the private investigator.
Man.
You think Virginia's crazy when she says, "Hide in the bushes," but then someone's cheating. You're glad you're in the bushes.
Yeah, I mean,
It's look. It's all about balance, and I ain't got the fucking answers. And what the fuck?
Right.
Now, going back to the cult thing, what they also need to do is find out if there's anything that involves animals, because there's a lot of activist group that will get
that'll shut
involved
it.
if they are
Yeah.
doing anything to animals, and sometimes people are quicker to act for animal cruelty than they are.
That's
You're
true.
absolutely correct.
But let me though just be devil's advocate here. What if there's not anything that bad? What if it's just a bunch of people on a farm partying, drinking, doing drugs, and fucking? That's pretty much what they're doing. And
Sounds
she's-
like a normal Saturday.
Yeah, she's 23, and it seems like a cult because she's in this community. She doesn't want to leave. And if you're into vampires, let's say you are doing vampire rituals. Let's say you are doing seances. Is that enough to call that even a cult? Is that enough to say you're lost beyond?
To me, it's all about what the leader is doing to their minds. It's when you are turning someone's mind around, that's when it becomes a cult. When people do things on command without using their own brain power, that's when it becomes a cult.
I know Denny's knows this show, Boy Meets World. Were you ever a fan of Boy Meets World, Beckett?
I was, and I remember it though.
There'll be maybe two people that listen to this will know what the fuck I'm talking about. But Boy Meets World had an episode where Sean Hunter, he's one of the characters, he gets involved in a cult, and it's some of the cheesiest, weirdest storyline I've ever seen, and I love it.
it's kind of PSA-ish.
Yeah. I always love a very special. You're watching a very special.
There's always
Golden
the PSA
Girls.
episodes.
Oh, those are my favorite because it's so over the top with the writing and the acting.
And they're doing
Yeah.
something a little outside of what they normally do to get a
Yes.
message across.
Oh, I love it.
They're the best.
They are. You're watching a very special Punky Brewster.
Well, what's funny too is it's usually serious social matters, right? And then they still leave the laugh track in the entire episode. So there's incredibly awkward laugh tracks.
There's the Different Strokes one. If you don't know that
That
show,
is the biggest offender in history.
if you are younger to the podcast, yeah, this is a old show from the 80s. And there's an episode where Arnold and his buddy, it's called The Bicycle Man. And the Bicycle Man ends up molesting Gary Coleman's best friend,
Dudley, yeah.
The whole time there are these jokes and innuendos where the molester will go, "I've got a banana split sundae right here," and then Arnold will say something like, "You should see what I can do with my mouth," and
Yeah.
and then they'll put in canned
laugh
laughter
track.
underneath
Weird.
it. It's so fucking bizarre and
Yes.
awkward, but you can't turn away because you go,
Weird.
"How did this ever get a? Who greenlit
Yeah,
this?
yeah, yeah.
Oh my god!"
It's just so poorly executed.
Yeah, they'll throw a laugh track into these really serious. There's another one where it was called Mr. Belvedere, and there's a kid who has AIDS, and he walks in the door, and the Bob Euchre's character goes, "Hey, how's it going today?" "Well, other than I have AIDS, everything's going great." And there's canned laughter after.
Oh
that.
my god.
And then they talk about
And
it
then
later
they
with jokes and
with
stuff.
jokes and it's so
That episode's rough too.
it's
Wow.
bizarre. Yeah, and you wonder if that would ever be made today. I don't know if it not with canned laughter.
No.
So Degrassi handled a lot of social issues as well, and I think kind of in a cheesy way. I think it's getting better as time goes on, but man, those special episodes are always just kind of cringy.
Oh, Degrassi back in the. Did you ever watch Degrassi?
I think they played that for me at Boca Middle for sex ed.
There's no way they didn't. They definitely,
They absolutely
definitely played
did.
that
Yes,
in
for
middle
sure.
school. That was such a. We're gonna teach the kids about life in middle school by playing Degrassi, and I always remember there was a woman named a teenager named Spike who was pregnant. they tackled teenage pregnancy.
I feel like I watched the show My So-Called Life with Claire Danes, and I feel like that was a cooler kind of PSAE social experience.
They
type
did
thing.
that with 90210, all those. They tried to get a little bit cooler.
A little cooler.
I was a big fan of Wonder Years. Wonder
Oh,
Years.
I mean that's a great show.
That's a really good show.
Yeah, because when you're hormonal and a teenager, or even just before a teenager, and you get to hear this young kid similar to your age like work stuff out in his head, I
Yeah.
feel like that was actually pretty helpful.
Yeah, looking back, if I had to say through the developmental years, and when I say that, I'm loosely saying up to 18 years of, when you're in high school. Middle school, hands down, was the toughest for me.
Yeah, it's awkward.
Oh, yeah, middle
Awkward.
school's the hardest.
So awkward because I think a lot of people go through that because you are still a kid, but you're still you're becoming an adult. You got your own little your thoughts.
Yep.
When did you start seeing your daughter Lindsley really trying to be an adult? Kind of being her own little 6.
I don't know. She's been a tough one for a while.
Really?
Yeah, she's always been very opinionated. But going back to middle school, like 7th grade for me, I wore a jacket the entire year because I was so self-conscious that I literally, it doesn't matter if it was 90, I wore a jacket.
I get it. Middle school was tough.
I did a lot of weird things in middle school.
Yeah, to your point, the sweaty armpits was
Me, it was
because
rampant.
all you would have to get one of them bullies who were bigger than you say, "What's going on, man? You pissed your armpits, bro?"
Yeah.
Look at Penny.
Oh yeah. I played real hard in the paint. One PE because I had PE. At first period, I didn't have any gym pants. I had regular pants. So I sweat right through my ass. And I remember I was walking, and all the cool kids were behind me. I'm like, oh, this ain't going to go well. This ain't going to go well.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, yeah. 7th and 8th. Kids in their preteen, early teenagers are the biggest dicks,
Yeah,
man.
They are. They're so cruel. I would never want to teach middle school. man.
Hell no. Shit that, man.
I didn't even know what was happening. One day I'm happy. One day I'm like depressed. One day I want to do this. One day I want to do that. You're so hot and cold.
You feel so hard.
I think the hormones are just you're experiencing them
Cranking.
for the first time.
Were you a hard feeler, Beckett?
That's what they say.
Did you feel your emotions hard?
I did. I was always a pretty sensitive guy. I, believe it or not, was one of those kids that didn't talk that much. I mean, I talked with my close friends and the guys I played baseball with, but in school, I would get like, I think they gave us 4s then from conduct.
4 conduct.
Yeah. And I got like straight A's and straight 4s, like all through, because I was just quiet. Like I was like,
some people think you were a dick because you were quiet. You were good looking and you were quiet, so they probably thought you were a dick.
no, I fell more in the nerdy jock category.
Okay.
And I was kind of a dork, which I guess maybe stuff hasn't really changed that much. but I was insecure, so I was just real quiet.
In my opinion, dorky people are the best kind of people.
Thanks.
They're the most genuine.
And you realize none of that matters. At the
It
time,
doesn't.
it's your entire existence,
Oh,
but
100%.
you have nothing else to compare it to.
At the end of the day, ain't we all dorks on some level? Can I get an amen on that?
Amen.
Amen.
Oh, yeah.
Amen. All right, I think it's time to go. One would you rather?
Okay.
All right.
One would, maybe 2. We'll see. Would you rather be kicked in the privates by a cocaine-fueled donkey, or lay naked in a cactus bed for 8 hours naked?
Cactus bed.
Yeah, me too. Getting kicked by a donkey could end you.
Yeah.
I wasn't done with the cactus thing. There's also a very hungry cheat. No, I'm just kidding. Vicky,
I'm going donkey.
you're going donkey. Well, you have different. Yeah,
I have different parts.
You're right. I might go donkey too.
Oh,
You can do some permanent damage.
that's, breaking everything.
Once you've been shot in the dick and balls by a paintball gun by Virginia.
It somehow ricocheted off both.
I didn't realize she was
It
a
did.
sharpshooter.
Oh, she's got the. It's. I can't.
I think that's the second time she's hit you really hard there.
She's hit me twice in the nuts. Yeah,
To
twice
where
in
it
the
was,
privates.
where it was almost hospitalizing.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I just found the video from back in the day at Wild 95.5 where she shot me in the dick with a paintball gun.
Wow.
It was the balls there. It was the dick and balls at
Yeah.
RMF. But,
Yes. In the
all right.
video, you can see him clank.
It was one of the worst paint. I really thought that I thought it was over.
I could tell when you fell that
It
you were
was.
not happy.
I was. If you ever want to hear audio where I legit am scared, and there's 2. There's my tooth popping out, and then there is my my nut and dick getting hit by a
Yeah.
paintball.
I'm
I just didn't know what happened.
I'm definitely listening on the way home.
You just know the one with the paintball. You hear a man in despair.
Yeah.
It's like that weeping man in my closet. Would you rather be condemned to hell for all eternity, or your best friend and their lover? So that means your best friend and their lover goes to hell, or you go to hell. It's one or the other.
I actually don't think Bobby Joe would mind.
Bobby
So,
Joe's going to hell. Damn.
I don't think she'd probably kick it down there. She'd probably start up some karaoke for all the demons. She'd be
Better
fine.
company down there.
That's what everyone says because they're
That's what
they say. More
scared
fun.
because they know they're going to have worms coming out of their tits.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, Becky, what do you
I
got?
don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah, you're totally sending your boy to hell.
Probably.
Damn, Denny's about going to hell?
No, I'd have to go to hell.
No, you
Yeah.
can't. You got
I'd make it work.
He'd bring the good stuff down there. He'd make it work.
Yeah.
You're allowed to smoke weed, but you never get high. In fact, it makes you so unhigh.
Like I just cough all the time.
Yeah,
I
you
can't
get
get
only
high
the
ever.
worst. In hell, you only get the worst.
That'd be a rough one.
So if you're jerking off in hell or your mouth, you get just the chafing. That's it. None of the pleasure.
It's a bunch of weak CBD.
Yeah, it's all just like,
Gives you a headache.
yeah, terrible.
Every corn dog you eat, it's always hard and cold. It's never right.
Be a
Okay.
rough one.
Yeah, all right, Denny, that's good. Would you rather drink a bleach slushy or eat super glue and spaghetti?
Super glue and spaghetti.
Super
I
glue
think
and
bleach
spaghetti.
slushy's gonna end you.
Yeah, it might end you.
It might.
I'm pretty sure that one will kill
No,
you.
it'll definitely kill you. Although I can't tell. I'm not sure super glue down the gullet's going to be a great thing either.
Oh, I like those meals stick to the ribs.
I mean, I think you might die with that too. I think it's sudden death, dog.
Hard to say.
You're taking your chance on super glue.
Super glue sucks because it bonds skin instantly.
You're going super glue?
No, I'm going bleach.
I'm going bleach. I'm taking my
going
chance on bleach.
I'm going to be nice and clean and dead.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Vicky on that. And maybe there's a chance
Yeah.
it just, for whatever reason, it.
No.
Maybe the high fructose corn
I don't
syrup
think
and the
so.
slushy, deactivates the bleach.
Think-
We're,
Bleach will
we're,
kill
a,
you.
we're a team. Dog, I know it's going to kill me, but maybe by.
You're right. You're right. Who knows? Maybe.
Maybe I got that wab, that weak ass bleach.
I hear you. You could.
Would you rather? Oh, did you pick? Yeah, you. That's
Yeah.
right. Okay. Have a threesome with your parents or a threesome with 3 badgers?
Badgers.
Badgers.
Badger.
Was it like honey badgers or?
They don't stop.
No, badgers are nicknames for your siblings.
Yeah, badgers.
Badgers. I'm kidding. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's.
And
gonna pick
then,
that one.
would you rather interview a ghost or an alien?
Alien.
So a ghost, you could pick any ghost in history, right?
Lincoln Ghost,
Any.
Easy E Ghost,
Billy Mays, anyone.
Billy Mays Ghost.
So,
I mean,
You don't even have to ask me.
I'm still going alien.
I'm going alien.
I feel like Vicky's going Prince.
I'm going Prince. Yeah, you
Ah,
got it.
yeah.
You
Oh,
got it.
that's good. Ghost Prince.
That'd be cool. Yeah, it's a tough one because you could pick anyone.
Is
ever.
Jesus too big? Would that be too big?
Because
Too-
you're gonna clank up. You're not gonna. know what to
would you
ask
clank
him.
up for something so big? Do you have to almost kind of hedge your bet a little bit and go, I want to go big, but I can't go so big?
I think I'm still going alien, but Jesus throws a monkey wrench in there. I'd probably edge out and go to Jesus if given the option Jesus and alien.
You get one question to Jesus. What is it?
You'll have nothing in common with Jesus. He's not even gonna know what the heck
It would
an
probably-
iPhone is.
I thought he was all knowing.
If I'm Johnny on the spot, it would probably be a cliche answer or a question like, "What's the meaning of life?"
No judgment though.
And he can't judge me at the end.
On his end, right?
Yeah,
No, he helps those who help themselves.
yeah.
That would be if you got to add. That's a fun game to play. You pick the person and you get one question. You get to interview Abraham Lincoln's ghost. What's the one question you ask him, Vicky?
How was the play? He's like, well, I only saw a portion of it.
Too soon.
Yeah, too soon.
I'd probably ask him, is it really you that haunts the White House?
Okay.
Because there's reports that he haunts the White House. So that's
And what
why.
if he goes, if I had a penny for every time I heard that one, I'd have a lot of me.
I guess you probably have to go alien just because there's so many things you can.
There's just nothing.
Yeah.
There's no
Everything they tell you is gonna be amazing.
everything else that's people that have been amazing in history. There's so much documentation around it. There always be more, of course, but we have nothing solid or concrete on aliens. I think it's worth it.
It could fart on you, and you would be like, "Wow,
What?
the alien."
Oh, wow would be.
I mean, you'd be like, "Wow, how rude."
Yeah, I mean, I guess if that's the first encounter, like if I see an alien, the first thing it does is fart on me. I guess I would go, wow.
What if that's how they say hello?
Yeah, it could be how they communicate.
Yeah. I love it. I wish
I'm
I wish we
throwing
could
that
go
out.
another hour deep, guys, but we can't, unfortunately. But I do want to say thank you to everyone who did tune in tonight. We do appreciate that. And Denny's, if you don't mind, why don't you play us out with some of that sweet-ass ghost music we were playing earlier?
Oh, this stuff right here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You'll have a great and very weird night. We love you all, and Bigfoot is real.
What is happening? what he has.